Hi, in this video I'm going to show you the basics of the Python. Actually, I'm going to shoot a series of Python videos. This is part number 1. And before I show you how to work with the Python, I shall explain you the history of the Python. Python has been around for almost 30 years. And it's the most common programming language used in the data science or data analytics. And I want to make sure that you have some kind of exposure to Python. And the other thing is this, in order to learn deep neural networks, and you have to be pretty good with the Python. But I'm not going to be just have 2 weeks left for the semester. I can't go over every single detail about the Python. And I'm going to go over the material that you need just to run the neural networks. And I strongly recommend you to spend some time learning the Python and so on. And I will shoot a series of videos. This is part number 1. And at this point, I don't know how many videos I'm going to shoot, but if you have some kind of a problem with the Python, just shoot me an email. I will shoot another video. Okay. And let's get started. And for Python, we are going to use a software called Google Colab. And you can go to Google and then search for Colab. It's COLAB. And then click on the first link that says Welcome to Colaboratory. And this is the environment that we are going to be using. And whenever you see the screen, go with the new notebook. And let me explain what notebook is. Notebook is just like a file that is going to store the Python code for us. And Google Colab environment is a free tool used or given to us by the Google. And actually, they're all not just giving a tool, they're already giving a virtual machine for us to use. And you're going to learn how to work with this virtual machine. But for the time being, let's focus on the Python part. And let's start with naming this Python notebook. Python notebook is just the name of the file that we're going to execute. Right now, its name is Untitled56. Let's give it a name Python Crash Course Part 1. Okay, I'm going to post this one to the canvas once I'm done so that you could have a look at too. And the issue is that right now this is saved on the virtual computer. At any time, if you want to save this file into your computer, you should need to go to File and click on Download. And they offer 2 options. One is the one that ends with .ipynb, that's short for Python Notebook. And the other one is Python File, the one that ends with the Python. And for your assignments in this class, you're going to send us the ipynb file. Okay, let's download this one right now. And I'm going to download it to my downloads folder automatically. And if I want to upload this file, I need to go to File and then go to Upload Notebook and then follow the instructions over there. It's that much simple. And let's have a look at this environment. There are 2 different cells in Python Google Colab. And the one that you see on the board, this is the one that's grayed out in the background. It's called the code cell. And over here, I will be able to write the code. And if I click on this, like a triangle type or run type of icon, is going to execute the code. And the other type of a cell is called text. If I click on this plus text sign, it's going to create a text. Let me write down, this is a text. Basically means those things are not going to be running, like the text files are not going to be running, but it's just going to be used for commenting and so on. But the code cells are going to be used to write the Python code. And the Python code will not run automatically in the background. I need to click on this run button so that to run that one. Okay. For the time being, let's remove this command as I don't need it. And let's start with showing you the basics of the Python. And I'm going to assume that you have no background in Python and you even have no background in a programming language. And let's get started. In Python, we have integers. For example, the whole numbers are integers. And if I type number 1 and try to execute, it's going to output number 1. Okay. And the other type of variables that we have are floats. Let's say 1.3 is a float. Float is a number that has a decimal point. And the basic operations, like basic math operations, are the same. Let's say I say 1 plus 2, 3. And 2 multiplied by 3. The asterisk over here is simply a multiplication operation. And let's say 4 divided by 5. This is going to be division operation. And keep this in mind, whenever you have a division operation, the result is always going to be a floating points. Let's say 10 divided by 5. That's not integer 2, that's a float, not 2. Okay, and this part is going to be important later. And let's say you have a simple operation, 2 plus 3 multiplied by 4 plus 5. This is going to yield 19. The reason is this multiplication is priority. This basically means 2 plus 12 plus 5. But you can put stuff inside parentheses. Let's say you have 2 plus 3 multiplied by 4 plus 5. Basically means it's going to do the stuff inside the parentheses first. That's just the basic math. Okay, and the other operation that you need to know is called modulus. Let's say 10 modulus 3. Modulus sign is basically percentage, and you can leave spaces over that, it will work out fine. And same thing for the previous stuff that you learned before. And this is going to give you number 1 because the modulus operator is going to give you the remainder. Okay, 10 is basically 3 multiplied by 3 plus 1. That's why we're getting the number 1. Okay, and we can also create the variables. You should be familiar with the variables from the Visual Basic applications. Let's say I have a variable called x equal to 2. And once I run this one, the Python environment knows what x is. From now on, I can use the x wherever I want. Okay, and let's say you have x equals to 2. Let's go up one level, and let's say y equals to 3. And at any time in a cell, you can have multiple lines. That's totally fine. Let's say you want to add you want to find out x plus y. That's what you're going to do. Okay, and keep this in mind. Later, I can change the values of x and y. Let's say y equals 5. And if I go back over here and rerun x plus y, and remember the last x is 2, last y is 5. That's why I'm going to end up with 2 plus 5 equals to 7. Which basically means that at any time I could go back and rerun these things. Let's run this 2 multiplied by 3. You see the number 6 shows up. That's totally fine. And the idea here is this. It's just going to remember the last execution that you have. That's why it will remember y equals to S5. Okay? Even though I could go up and run those things, it's going to remember the last executed value. And this only applies to Python notebook environment, because sometimes we make a mistake, we go back and then fix it, and that's why we wanted to remember the last execution. Okay, and whenever it comes to renaming the variables, you can't start the variable names with a number. Let's say if you have 1 var, it's going to give you an error. Okay, and in general, if you want to name it as var1, you can use _2, even though I don't recommend it. Let's have a look at it. Let's say var equals to 5. It's going to work out fine. Okay, and I'm going to use the camel notation. I'm going to give you more information about the camel notation later in the course, and it's just up to you. Camel notation basically means that I'm going to start the variable names with all lower cases, and the second words, like a first letter, is going to be uppercase, and so on. You're going to see examples later. Let's talk about the strings. Strings are simply a set of characters. Let's say this is a sentence. That's going to be a string, and you can put string into single quotes or double quotes. Both are going to be fine in Python. But sometimes inside the text, you're going to have single quotes. Like in this case, you should wrap this around double quotes so that it will work out fine. Okay. Or the other way around, if you have double quotes in the text, you can wrap it around single quotes, or you can put 3 quotes. That's also fine. Okay. And actually, you should put double quotes. We are not going to be dealing with the text, but you should know the stuff if you're going to be writing code. Okay, let's continue. And let's have another variable. Let's give the name s, and let's call this one as hello world. And this is going to be an assignment operator. S is a string, with the value hello world. If you say s brackets 0, and the brackets are just used for like a elements, it basically means I want to get the first letter of the string s, and that's why it's going to return h. And strings are actually arrays or lists in Python, and if you want to get the world, okay, let's say I want to get the letter w. And the idea here is this: the counting in Python starts from 0, and when I search for S0, that's why I got the H. H is element number 0, E is element number 1, L is element number 2, the second L is element number 3, and so on. If you want to get the W, it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what you should type, okay? And over here, the important thing is this: you need to remember that between hello and world, there's a space. That's also one character. And let's say you want to get the world, the complete, like a word world. And in that case, what you're going to do is this: you're going to type S6 and colon and nothing. This is going to give you the world. And the reason is this: if you don't put any value after here, it means go all the way to the end. And similarly, let's say you want to get the LLO. In that case, you're going to type S. Remember, the first L is in position number 2, 0, 1, 2. And then you want to get all the way to space over here, not including space. And 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to enter 6. And let me explain what is going to happen. And in Python, whenever you see a notation like this, it means go get the element number 2 and all the way to element number 6, but do not include element number 6. Element number 6 in this case is a space between hello and the world. And the idea is this: whenever you see this notation, 2 colon 6, it basically means get anything between 2 and 6, not including 6. Okay? And you can also do this one: S, nothing, comma, 6. In this case, I'm going to go get the hello with the spaces. Basically means go get the first 6 characters. Okay, start from nothing, go all the way to 6. Don't include the 6th one. Okay, means go get the first 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and remember the 5th one is the space. That's why I'm getting the space in this text. H is 0, E is 1, the first L is 2, and so on. When I put this way, I'm also getting the space because the 6th element is actually W. Okay? It means go everything all the way to W, do not include W. Okay, now let's talk about the printing the mess stuff. Let's say I'm going to create 2 variables. Let's say my name is Ferdy. And let's say I have a number, 97. Let's say you want to print this text: hello, my name is, I'm going to put curly brackets, and my number is, I'm going to put another brackets. Actually, let's give the name my favorite number. Okay, and let's say I want to say hello, my name is Ferdy and my favorite number is 97. This is the text that I'm going to use. And I put everything into single quotes. You can also put them into double quotes. It's going to work out fine. And I'm just going to say format. And I'm going to enter first my name and then my number. And here's what's going to happen. This is going to output something like, hello, my name is Ferdy and my favorite number is 97. It basically means whenever it sees a set of curly brackets, it's going to look for the first variable here, name. It's going to replace it with name variable. The second curly brackets is here, and it's going to replace with the number that I already set. Okay, and over here it's just showing the result, but I can wrap this one around print. In general, print is a nicer way of printing the stuff, and this is what we're going to have. It's just going to remove the bracket like a single quote around the text. And the other thing is I can continue, give this a names. Let's give the name 1. Let's just give the name 2 here. And I can say 1 equals to name. and 2 equals to number. That's actually more proper way of doing the stuff. This is also going to work out fine. It basically means whenever you see curly brackets and 1 and replace the 1 with the name is already 30 and so on, you get the idea. And whenever you do the stuff this way, you don't have to keep things in order. You can say 2 equals to number and 1 equals to name. It will work out fine. Okay. And the idea is this, because since this one is looking for the 1, it's going to replace it with the name here and so on. Okay. Now let's talk about the lists. These are just a group of like numbers or letters that you can put together. Let me create a variable called mylist, and this is called camel notation. For example, look at the name mylist. My is the first word, list is the second word. The first word is all lowercase. The second word starts with the uppercase L. This is the notation that I'm going to use to name the variables, and I strongly recommend that you follow the same notation. Okay, let's say I'm going to give this a name 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I type it, the mylist, you're going to say the contents of the mylist. And at any time, if you don't know the variable type, you can search for type. And let's say I put mylist here. This is going to tell me that the type of variable this thing is. And remember, we also have the name and number. You can also search for the type name. It will tell you its type. Okay, str is short for string. And just like the way that we work with the text, let's say if you say mylist 0, that basically means I want to go grab the element number 0. That's going to return number 1. This is the position of the element number 0. Same thing for things like, okay, let's do it this way. Let's say I want to go get the elements from 1 to 3. Basically means go get the element in position number 1 and number 2. Okay. And if you look at my list, element number 1 is number 2, element number 2 is number 3. That's the way that I got the numbers. Okay. Which basically means whenever you see a notation like 1 to 3, it basically means go get the element number 1 and 2. Okay. And you can change the elements the way that you want. Let's say you remember my list 0 is right now number 1. I can say change this one to number 99. And from now on, my list is going to start with number 99. And in a list, you can have set of like numbers or whatever you want, like list with just a container. And you can even have like, let's say I have another variable called another list. Inside the list, I can have letter A, number 2, letter C, and letter E. I'm just making up text, and number 9. That's totally fine. Okay. And if you want, the issue is that in a list, you can have a set of values and numbers. You can even have stuff like hello. That's totally fine. Okay. And the other thing is this, if you want to, this part is important. I'm also going, right now I'm going to show you how to use functions. Everything in Python is an object. Let's go with the my list. And this is my list right now. Let's say all the way to the end of the list, I want to append, let's say number 50. This is what I'm going to do. After this append operation, this is going to be my list, which means that it's going to add number 50. And you have to be a little careful with the Python notebooks. If I rerun this thing, and let's have a look at the my list, it's going to keep adding the number 50. And that's why like the beginners generally make this mistake. Like you keep running the same cell multiple times and it's just going to keep executing again and again. Okay, here you go. And be careful with it. And if this is the case, like you don't want this to have 3 50s all the way to the end. If you just want 150 all the way to the end, you need to go to runtime. And then you should click on restart light runtime. Hold on. Yep. Basically means you are just flashing the memory of the Python. And when you do this one, you see all the way to the beginning, you see some brackets here. Those brackets has no number right now. You're going to go to runtime, run all. It's going to run everything that I have done so far. You see this time, it's just added the 50 all the way to the end once, and I can continue. And this thing is super important because sometimes whenever you're working with the neural networks, you're going to spend like 45 minutes on building a project. And whenever you make a little mistake, you have to rerun the whole thing one more time, and you need to remember this. Okay. And this is probably 20-25 minutes I spent on this video, and I'm going to shoot other videos. And if you happen to have any questions, let me know. And I'm going to save this file. Okay, let's do it. I'm going to, actually, you can even save this one in your Google Drive. If you say save a copy in Drive, this is going to save in your Google Drive that you can access later. Okay, but I generally want to download it to my computer, and I will upload this one so that you could have a look at it later. Okay, and this is for all, and make sure that you watch all of the Python series. This is part number 1. In the next video, you're going to see the part number 2. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.